Hey fellas, I'm gonna be out here today. Got this old 64 F100 that's got the straight axle in this truck. I've got a brand new used Crown Vic independent front suspension with rack and pinion. I've seen a lot of videos on the 65 and up F100s done. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this one with the Crown Vic swap. It actually looks like it may be a little simpler because of the rubber bump stops in the straight axle are dead over top of the center pins there, and for the king pins. So it looks like that hole that the rubber bump stop is in is the center of the axle. I'm going to do a little measuring to make sure that's the same. But somebody's already been cutting on this truck before I bought it. They put a newer model cross member in it to mount the old 302 and transmission that was in it before I bought it. That guy took it out. I'm going to try to get that all cut out and clean up all the bubblegum weld that he's got all over it, where it's laid on top of the frame and welded down. And I'll go back here in the back and clean up all the old cross member stuff, maybe add a cross member as needed as we go along with this thing. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to get the shock towers off, get the axle down out of it, get the bolts and the springs, get the front bumper off, and see how it looks later this afternoon. I'll catch y'all later. Well, that looks better already, fellas. Front end, we rolled it out there. The 4 bolts came right out. Shock towers, cut the brake lines because that stuff ain't gonna be there no more. I guess now the fun begins. I went and done a little measuring on the front end, and the sway bar is what takes the most distance forward. Basically from the center of that there, I need 13 inches to mount the front bolt on the sway bar, 13 to 14 inches. So it actually looks like the front cross member, the factory one, will remain in this truck. I was hoping it really would, but we'll have to see if everything else clears. But it does look like if I have to take anything off, it'll be right there. I might have to take off just a little bit of it right here, maybe back to this groove to get everything to mount. So we'll go along as we go and see how it goes on this truck. So all right, catch you in the next piece. Hey guys, so that cross member went pretty well. Basically the air hammer there with the chisel bit on it, the Sawzall. They whoever welded that in there, I am amazed that the engine stayed in it. So you can see here, there's 3 little tacks on one side and this hodgepodge of stuff to hold the motor mount on. That also held some of it to the frame. And that's the driver's side. The passenger side, they had this little bit that broke right off, a little bit down here, and they had it welded along this frame edge. They only had it welded from here over. This was just a big gap, a little bit of weld right there that was holding pretty good, and the motor mount was welded there on top. They've cut a diamond out of the frame that was, sorry I can't see what I'm showing you. They cut a little diamond out of it, pretended to weld it, and only one little spot actually held that in there. So not quite sure how much that's going to affect what I'm doing, but I do believe the bottom of the frame rails are okay, and all I'll have to do is take a minute and do a little measuring and cut the top of the frame out. They might have got it a little far over right here, but I mean, it is what it is now. I just didn't know it. So I'm going to continue on, get the shock mounts off. It does look like the cross member is going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and get the mounts for the front leaf springs, get the rivets cut off of them. I've actually, as I got older, I've actually hate running an angle grinder anymore. It ruins all my glasses, and I usually forget to change them and ruins them, so I actually hate running them anymore. I don't run them no more than I have to. That's why I like to use the air hammer and the grinder, or the Sawzall. I'm gonna get these off, and I'll come back with hopefully a little bit more off of it. That took about 25-30 minutes to get that junk off there that they had welded on. We'll catch you later. Well, it's late afternoon. I got the old cross member out of there, and all the bracketry is all missing. Got my holes put in. Actually, just we drew it up in Fusion 360 and come out that we need to leave about 30 thousandths of the original hole. So it made them a little egg-shapy looking, but piece of 3/4 inch round bar stock fits right through the hole now. I ground them just to fit. The top of this frame on the left is going to get cut out anyway, so it's no big deal that that's already cut. But I'm getting ready to go ahead and test fit the new front end. It's still dirty, needs cleaned, and bushings and rotors turned and things like that, but we'll get to that when we get there. But getting those brackets off back there was a real challenge. They were riveted through 3 different pieces of metal. But oh well, it came out. It does look like for right now I'll be able to keep the original cross member. So until next time. Well, after quite a little bit of time, I took a little break, had some dinner, found some wheels, maneuvered that front end in there with my tractor, got it held up, put some clamps on it, got it down off the ground, got some wheels. This is the only thing I had to set it on, so I don't think it'll hurt them any. It ain't very heavy. But it, just so you know, those holes on this truck are in the right place, front to back, but I did have to oval them out just to fuzz more than I wanted to, but one hole was in the edge of the other. There's not much else you can do with it. So when I put the main bracket in them, these dowel pins are mainly for sliding back and forth on the frame anyway. It's not so much for left to right. You get it in and bolted down and tight, it ain't gonna go anywhere with the new bracketry and everything welded in. But there, yep, there it is. And luckily, time I flip this up out of the way, you can see that's all gonna get cut out anyway. So there was no harm, no foul there with them cutting in that other cross member. It looks all right. So I did take a few minutes to clean the bottom of the carrier just a little bit with the air hammer and the chisel, just to knock all the corrosion off on this frame. So I'm gonna get it out, take it back out, pressure wash it, clean, and replace all the bushings and stuff in it anyway. I just trying to get it tested in there for today. So if you get back and look at the whole truck, you can definitely, of course, you know, there's no tires, of course, but instead of 17-inch wheels that I had, seemed to fit on there pretty nice. And the truck is definitely down from where she was. Of course, you know, it's gonna go back up about 4 inches and get some tires on it, but it definitely made a huge improvement. The kit is on its way to install, to put in the truck. So we get that there hopefully this week and install it next weekend. Work on getting the glass and everything for it. Get it put in, and the rubber strip and the moldings and stuff, and get the water out of the inside of the cab. But yep, there it is. It's in. I wished I'd have been able to video more of me doing what I was doing, but somewhere along the way over the last few years, we've moved the shop so many times there, added so many new things that I cannot locate my tripod anywhere to set up and to film anything that's going on in the here or in the shop. So I'll get a new one ordered and see if I can get back to making a few videos here along the way. This truck is definitely going to be some more videos on it to come of rebuilding the front end, I'm going to add the Mustang, the S550 rear independent, and just going to keep an eye out on whether it's going to get a 7.3 Godzilla motor or a 5.0 modular out of the Mustang. I don't know which one it's going to get yet. Not much horsepower difference between either one of them stock, which is plenty for this truck and for the driving and going out and getting ice cream and burning rubber. So, well, anyway, y'all have a good day, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.